Hello and welcome to Quilt Addicts Anonymous. I'm Stephanie Soebbing. Today we're going to be showing you guys a replay of the promo of our Triangle Masterclass because we have 4 new kits to show you. But this is an amazing tutorial series that you guys can watch for free. And if you want, there is a pattern that you can purchase to go along with it if you want to make the quilt that I've designed that uses all the blocks in one quilt. Otherwise, you can just watch the half square triangle video when you have a half square triangle to make. That's totally fine as well. But this is really meant to take the fear out of triangle blocks. We cover 4 different kinds. We show you how to make a half square triangle, how to make a quarter square triangle, how to make double pinwheels, and how to make 4 at a time flying geese. And then we have more videos than that because it's more than just making the blocks to make your triangles look perfect. It's also in how you put everything together. So we have one video dedicated to how I piece the blocks together to make sure all these individual blocks come together where the points are absolutely perfect. And then we have another video that shows you my 2-pinning method. So that way when you have triangle points that come together, they can meet in an actual just perfection location like with these sashings here. And if that isn't enough for you, I showed you how I used some epic ruler work to mimic the look of the triangles and the quilting of this, so that way you guys could maybe give that a go as well. It is a fabulous series, especially if you want to up your triangle game. If maybe you've been working on more basic quilts and you just are ready to tackle something new, you can absolutely do it with this. The kits make a lap size quilt, so it's very doable. It's a perfect project to just do a little bit at a time because you can take 1 week and do all your half square triangles and then, move on to your flying geese and so on. And then just take your time as you work through it and really learn some new skills. The comments we saw on this, people really, whether they've been quilting a short amount of time or a long amount of time, really learned a lot in this series because we really cover absolutely everything in depth. We talk about the math for how to do this from squares and really just make sure that you know exactly what you need to do to have this turn out fabulous every single time. And I'll say, I'm a perfectionist quilter in that I like things to look correct and have all the points where they need to be, but I don't take a ton of time to do it. I know what steps I need to take in order to have it turn out well by making sure I have my quality checks at certain points and how to do things in a way that ensures I'm going to get these results every time without having to fuss and rip things out and curse at my sewing machine, because nobody's got time for that. Definitely not. But what I show you are all the tips so that way you can get it right the first time. All right, let's take a peek at some of the new kits that we have available that you can make the Triangle Masterclass with if you want to take the course. Again, you can totally just watch the videos. That's totally fine. You can get the pattern and make it with your own fabric. It's fat quarter friendly. Or if you're so inspired and you want to say thanks for all the free content, you can grab a kit from us. This first one is Honey Bloom from Figo. It's really very pretty. This is one of my favorite collections. It is just a nice cream background, which is going to be perfect with the colors that we have here. We're going to take a peek at them one by one. This black piece here is hexagon honeycombs, and within it you have your traditional quilt diagrams within some of them. It really is a great textured block. And you cannot have honey bloom without a few honeybees. So we have a few here floating around. That nice goldenrod yellow really pops against that black background. This collection has a lot of teal in it, which makes it really fun for me. It's really very pretty, and this one has sort of a textured teal stripe alternating with that black and charcoal. This print is a star of the show, and it's going to look good cut up as well because we're going to get different color stories depending on where it gets cut up, and it is going to look really pretty in the final design. This is the last of our teal kind of sagey greens, and this one we just have nice little meadow flowers. This one is a blue-gray kind of cross-hatch design. It's very subtle, and it's going to help pull the focus on some of those more main prints. Here's that bee fabric again, this time with a sky blue background. Here's the honeycomb again, this time in a nice goldenrod yellow. We have our crosshatch texture again, this time in the yellow. And this one is really fun. We have a bunch of beehives, and again, those yellows are just so rich. They're very fun. They're very sophisticated yellow. Here's the stripe again, this time in a very pale pink and a little bit of blue-gray. Now we have that flower meadow again, this time in pink. Next, we're going to move on to Just Kitten Around by Monica Forsberg for Free Spirit Fabrics. This one is great if you or someone you love are a cat lover. By the way, we are using Moda Bella Solids in the silky variety for this. It's a really great high quality background. They are really going to be fun to work with. I really love Monica's use of color, and we do have a lot of all of these still on yardage. So you're going to be able to get matching backing fabric as well, and you're just going to be able to have a lovely coordinated quilt. This is my favorite print of the line. I feel like I need a shirt out of this for the summertime. There's some cute little birds flying around. Here's another one of those crosshatch designs, just time in more of a blue and pink colorway. This is one of the busier prints in the collection. You do not need to fussy cut this. You can just let the images end up any which way and they will look absolutely fantastic because there's so much going on here. We've got little quilt block houses, little birds riding around the street, and of course our cats walking their kids to school. Here are the little bits of our cats. These are perfect for our cat lovers, but it's not so overstated to where it's like, oh my God, cats. Like, there's gonna be a little bit of it. It mostly is some really fun prints that coordinate with the color, but there definitely are cats if you are a cat lover or know someone who is. I've got a whole short on why this color is important. It is used, this mustardy yellow is used throughout the collection. So when you have it in little bits and just one fabric like this, it's gonna make it pop everywhere else and really tie everything together. Plus, you know, cats driving cars and scooters, that's cute. Now we're into kind of a green colorway. This is the first print we saw with all of those beautiful florals. I am not sure if these are fish swimming in a pond or fish cracker treat things for the kitties, but either way they're cute. More fishies, this time on a smaller scale with a darker green background. Here are those birds again, just this time the birds are purple and the background is sea foam. Now we're back to that crosshatch design. This is our last one, and again we're seeing little bits of that yellow, the mustard yellow, the sea foam, the purple. It's just a really great combination of colors. This next one that we're going to look at is very, very vibrant, and it looks absolutely fantastic in this application. It just is like a crayon box just exploding out on your quilt. It's going to look absolutely great, especially if you're able to get all those points exactly where you want them to be. Let's take a look at the fabrics. We've got a nice bright white background to help show off all of those bright clear colors. We're starting off with some blacks, which will really help anchor everything. This one is a really fun, just graphical print. This one looks more like a splatter. We have a nice charcoal gray background with the white and gray and black splatters. This one looks like a scribble. It is really fun and is really going to help everything pop. All right, now we're getting into the colors. This one has a little bit of all the colors that we're going to see in the line with all these little circle indentations and the colors being used throughout with a nice black background. This is meant to mimic the look of a game board, and it just is so fun with all of those bright clear colors. And you do not need to fussy cut this at all. Just let it be wherever it ends up and it will look fabulous in the end because it will all contrast with that white back. Now all the prints are going to be one main color instead of the multi. So this one is our red, black, and white. It's very, very graphic. Here's our orange with a bunch of circles in there. It's really very pretty. We're continuing working our way down the rainbow, this time with yellow. There are a few purple splatters in this one. This green one is really fun with our square just going closer and closer to the inside. We have two blues in this collection. This one is a little bit lighter, but it definitely reads as a medium color value. It's really pretty having those sort of watercolor circles in the middle of this gray grid. It's really very pretty. Now we have our darker blue with black, and again, very, very graphic, very, very saturated color. Now we're gonna wrap it up with this purple splatter. It's the same as the gray one that we saw earlier, but I just love this. It looks so pretty and it's just so bold, so striking, and all of this is just going to look fabulous against that white background. Really make all your piecing pop. So it's a great one to do the Raspberry Sherbet Triangle Masterclass quilt with. If you thought the last one was bright, bold, and a really saturated rainbow, then you're going to love this one too. This is Daydreaming by Stephanie Brandenburg with Figo. This is her first release with it. We do still have coordinating panels that you could use with some coordinating yardage to create a really pretty back to go with this. So make sure you go check that out. But let's take a look at the fabrics. This is just an absolutely fantastic line. We're using a bright white again for the background, and the fabrics are, you probably aren't going to be able to tell as much in the black, but it's just this mottled look and it's alternating with a painterly texture. This one is black, but it has a lot of texture to it. This has that same textured print as the black that I just showed you, but I think you're going to be able to see the dimensions of it a little better on the purple, and man, is it gorgeous. These are just great because from a distance they have the look of a solid, but when you get closer you can see all of the beautiful texture on it, and it is just so striking and beautiful. I just love this dark indigo blue. Got a little bit lighter than the last one, but still a very rich blue. This one reminds me of the ocean. This is, by the way, one of the collections that I snagged for my stash. I don't do it with all of them because I don't want to be a hoarder, and that could easily happen owning a quilt shop, but this is one that I had to have in my stash. So there were two different main prints in this. We looked at a lot of the textures ones here. This is more of like a plastering look where we're seeing some different colors in it. So depending on where your squares are, it's going to maybe look like two different fabrics, but they're all going to be beautiful. This is back to that original texture. We have a nice teal, almost green, like lagoon type situation going on here. It's very pretty. This one is more turquoise and it's very beautiful as well. This one is green with like an olive green with some mustard yellow background. This is one where people don't gravitate to on their own, but it looks really good when you combine it with everything else. We're back to that texture again, this time with a nice golden yellow. We have one more like this where it is just a really cool texture, and I gotta show you the other side too because it is just really pretty depending on what side of the fact board you end up with. We've got that red texture again, looks really great next to this one. And we're gonna wrap everything up with like a pink, fuchsia, magenta, orange. Looks absolutely beautiful and it is just absolutely stunning. So if any of these have caught your eye, they are the Raspberry Sherbet Quilt Kit, which is a pattern that I designed to teach the Triangle Masterclass with. We have half square triangles, quarter square triangles, double pinwheels, flying geese, 4-at-a-time flying geese, plus how to put it together to make sure you don't lose any points, and how to do the 2-pinning method, again, so every point is perfect from now until the end of time, and a bonus video on how to quilt everything. We go over what type of materials you need to get started, and there are no special rulers to go with it. You can do everything with just your normal 6.5-inch square ruler and a friction marking pen, and you will be good to go. Now, make sure if you want one of these that you go check out the quilt kits for Raspberry Sherbet. We have Daydreaming, Game Day, Just Kitten Around, and Honey Bloom. These two are super bright, super fun. So if that's your personality, go grab those. These are both really fun as well. This one has more muted colors, or they're more like not as saturated as the ones you're going to see over here. But this is super fun if you have a cat fan in your family or you are one. And this one's just really sweet. This would make a good spring summer quilt to have out. So definitely something you can work on now, have it done, and really enjoy. Plus learn some new skills. I mean, that's what we're all about here. We want to make you guys better quilters so that way you are not frustrated and you have success with your sewing. So check it out. We really cover everything in depth. You can watch the videos one at a time just when you need to know how to do a half square triangle, or you can take the entire course and watch the videos so that way you know what you're doing. If you want to make the pattern, then you can grab that. It's called Raspberry Sherbet. That is a paid pattern. The videos are free to watch. And if you want to say thanks for all the free video content, we always appreciate it when you grab a kit to make the quilt with, and that is your way of saying thanks to us for coming up with this free content for you to make you a better quilter. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you check out the class. I hope you have a great time with it, and until next time, happy quilting.